Good afternoon and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. This program is sponsored by the Southwest TV Translator Association and supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network as seen on DCTV Channel 32.1.
The News at Noon program is the best news in the Four Corners area, and we deliver a variety of news relevant to the Four Corners region.
With that said, I'm Kendra Cook and my co-host is Jerry Tope. And now, happy Memorial Day. Here's the news for May 30th, 2016. The Cortez Journal reported that a bear in the Areola area was euthanized Friday after it scratched a homeowner. This reported by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. In a brazen effort to reach dog food, the juvenile bear reportedly entered a kennel occupied by dogs at a residence on County Road 21 about 11 a.m. CPW Wildlife Manager Matt Thorpe said the homeowner attempted to pull out the dogs and the bear swiped, causing a minor scratch on her arm. The victim refused medical transport and the wound was treated. The bear was tracked by wildlife officers and was shot nearby shortly after the incident. Wildlife that injure humans typically are euthanized according to CPW protocol. Thorpe said, "I don't consider this a true attack, but for public safety, we euthanized the bear to get it tested for disease." The commotion probably caused the bear to swipe in an effort to defend its claim on the dog food. The bear appeared healthy and the state lab reported a low level of concern for disease. Wildlife officers said they had tried to trap the bear. It had recently killed chickens at another residence and had been hitting the same 2 or 3 homes. Thorpe said juvenile bears tend to get into the most trouble because once they're on their own, they don't have their own territory yet. They can get pushed onto marginal habitat and they are trying to survive, he said. They're like teenagers who just graduated trying to find their way in a larger world. Bears are awake and active, so be aware of bears. When working outside in rural areas, consider how your actions might attract wildlife. Keep dog food inside and recognize that barbecues and bird feeders attract unwanted wildlife. When bears are too close to homes, make a commotion to dissuade them so they learn to avoid humans.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, as summer begins, a good TV show can be hard to find. However, one competitive event show has been gathering quite a cult following. And now Durango resident Ryan Elliott will compete for a $1 million prize at the American Ninja Warrior National Finals held June 13th to 18th in Las Vegas. American Ninja Warrior is a sports entertainment television show on NBC. Contestants are selected from audition videos and must navigate a series of obstacle courses that test strength and dexterity. Those who complete the final courses move on to the national finals in Las Vegas. Elliott, a case manager at Access Health Systems in Durango and student in the University of Denver Four Corners Master of Social Work program, is a skilled rock climber. The Herald said that efforts to reach Elliott for comment last Friday were unsuccessful. After all, he is a ninja and we aren't supposed to find them. They're just supposed to pop in or out at will, aren't they? NBC will air an episode of American Ninja Warrior on June 13th, featuring Elliott competing in a regional competition held in Indianapolis.
From the Cortez Journal, U.S. Representative Scott Tipton's effort to protect individual water rights made progress last week in the House of Representatives. The Water Rights Protection Act, which was incorporated as part of the Energy Policy Modernization Act, aims to uphold state water law and protect the private water rights of individuals. The energy bill was approved last Wednesday by the House. Tipton introduced the water bill in April of 2015. It's meant to protect individuals from losing their privately held water rights to the federal government without just compensation. Tipton said in a statement, "Repeated attempts by federal land management agencies to interfere with private water rights and circumvent state law have put the ski community, grazers, municipalities, and local businesses at risk of losing, without any compensation, the property they have developed, invested as much as hundreds of millions of dollars in, and rely on to survive." The bill was passed by the House last July as part of the Western Water and Food Security Act, making this the second time that the legislation has been passed by this Congress. It has received broad support from local stakeholders as well as bipartisan support in Congress, according to Tipton spokesman Josh Green. Green said that the bill provides an extra level of protection to water users to ensure their private water investments and use will not be interfered with by a federal administration or agency. The Energy Policy Modernization Act heads to conference negotiations between the House and Senate, and passage of the legislation looks promising, Green said.
From the Cortez Journal, New Mexico's only Republican member of Congress has joined the fight between ranchers and the federal government over access to water on national forest lands, saying the state can do more to protect the private property and water rights of its citizens. The U.S. Forest Service has fenced streams, springs, and other watering holes to protect the habitat of an endangered mouse. The agency has repeatedly defended its actions, saying it has responsibilities under the Endangered Species Act to ensure the survival of the rodent. U.S. Representative Steve Pearce told a group of reporters last Wednesday that the agency is blindly implementing laws without regard to the effects on livelihoods, customs, and culture in rural New Mexico. The congressman, whose district covers most of the southern half of the state, said the federal government is trampling on property and water rights in New Mexico, and it has in other western states. Tensions have flared in Nevada and Oregon, and Pierce said the complaints heard in those states are no different than what New Mexico ranchers are concerned about: dwindling rights and few options for redress and the effects on their families. 50 state lawmakers have written to New Mexico's top water managers expressing concerns that the federal government has overstepped its authority. State engineer Tom Blaine said in April that he was concerned about the federal mismanagement of public lands and that his office was investigating complaints from locals about recent federal actions. Arguing that water is a state issue, Pierce said that New Mexico needs to stand up to the federal government, as it has with lawsuits against the U.S. EPA over pollution from the Colorado mine spill and the fight over plans by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to release more Mexican gray wolves into the wild.
From the Durango Herald, the 4 men suspected in a home invasion and shooting early last Tuesday that left a Fort Lewis College student dead were advised Wednesday of their rights and possible charges, including first-degree murder. La Plata County Judge Martha Minute set bail for each of the 4 suspects at $500,000. The 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office is expected to file formal charges June 9th. Cody Maz E. Qualtley, 19, of Phoenix, Alvin Noel Flores, 22, of Phoenix, Daniel Nielsen Wright, 20, of Phoenix, and Cuatleco Garcia, 21, of Scottsdale, Arizona, are suspected of conspiring to storm into a townhome and rob Samuel Xarius Gordon of his marijuana. Gordon was shot once in the abdomen, possibly because he retrieved a flare gun during the robbery, according to police. He was taken to Mercy Regional Medical Center, where he died. First-degree murder carries a lifetime prison sentence without the possibility of parole or possibly the death penalty, but it is unlikely the death penalty would be pursued in this case. In addition to first-degree murder, the men are being held on suspicion of felony kidnapping and aggravated robbery, which each carry a possible penalty of 10 to 32 years in prison under certain circumstances. The 4 men appeared Wednesday in La Plata County Court wearing jail-issued jumpsuits and shackles. Riceburg asked the bail be set at $1 million for each of the suspects, saying they have no ties to the community and present a danger. All 4 have very minimal criminal history or none at all, Riceburg said. 3 of the 4 men are suspected of entering the home while the 4th remained outside. Police have not said who stayed outside or who pulled the trigger. According to arrest affidavits, the home invasion was planned several days in advance. In an interview with police, Quatley said he drove from Phoenix to Durango on Friday. He had phone conversations with Wright, Flores, and Garcia about Gordon having a large amount of marijuana and devised a plan to rob him. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
NOAA's forecast for today says scattered passing showers and storms with chances higher in the northern parts of our region, running at about 20% here for Dove Creek. Most of this activity should begin in the afternoon. Some of these passing showers will linger overnight, mainly in the I-70 corridor and over portions of the San Juans. There's a high-pressure system that has entered California. By Thursday, it will dominate our area and bring us low 80s during the days, and finally raise nighttime temps to the 50s through the weekend, we hope. In our national image, a Pacific cold front will cross the northern and central Rockies today, reaching the northern plains by this afternoon. Lots of showers and thunderstorms will develop across the central and northern plains this afternoon. These will move east into portions of the Midwest late tonight and early tomorrow morning. The Storm Prediction Center is forecasting a slight risk of severe thunderstorms today and tonight across portions of the central and northern plains. Locally heavy rain and flash flooding will be possible. Tuesday and into Tuesday night, that cold front will move east over a wide area from the southern plains to the upper Great Lakes. The National Hurricane Center says on the far east coast that Tropical Depression Bonnie has weakened and will linger near the South Carolina coast into Tuesday morning. Bonnie will continue to spread a highly moist air mass northward along the east coast. It will be combining with an incoming cold front to generate lots of showers and thunderstorms today from South Carolina to southern New England. Locally, heavy rain and flash flooding will be possible, but widespread flash flooding is not expected. The cold front will move off the northeast and mid-Atlantic coast by tomorrow morning and ending showers and thunderstorms for those areas. The weekend remnants of Bonnie, though, are forecast to linger off the North Carolina coast into Wednesday morning, keeping scattered showers and thunderstorms in the southeast. For the Dove Creek forecast area, temps are expected to be all over the lower 80s, with maybe a degree or two less with Wednesday's increased clouds. There's a little disagreement over how low temps will be affected, and the lowest estimates are in the mid and upper 40s, and the higher estimates being in the lower 50s for the night times beginning Thursday night. Last week's CO2 average was 408.31 parts per million. Week before last, 407.29 parts per million. 1 year ago, 403.77 parts per million, and 10 years ago at 384.68 parts per million. Now back to the news.
The Cortez Journal reported that the premiere of a Heart and Soul video will be shown at the Sunflower Theater on June 9th. Many local area citizens participated in the community organizing event called the Heart and Soul Project that was undertaken by the City of Cortez as a result of being awarded a grant from the Orton Foundation. According to their website, the Orton Family Foundation's mission is to empower people to shape the future of their communities by improving local decision-making, creating a shared sense of belonging, and ultimately strengthening the social, cultural, and economic vibrancy of each place. They're a member of the Funders Network, fundersnetwork.org, for smart growth and viable, livable communities aligned with UN Agenda 21 and sustainable development. The purpose of this Cortez grant was to help the local government learn what it is about their community that is most valued by residents, so that as development comes, government is in a better position to guide it in a way that will align with local values. One of the outcomes of this project was the production of a video featuring local residents. Again, that video will be publicly aired for the first time at the Sunflower Theater on Thursday, June 9th. In addition, America's Return to Main Street, a documentary about the revitalization of main streets across America, will also be shown to prompt a conversation about what was learned from each video and how we might take what was learned and move our community forward. Part of the tradition of going to the show is having popcorn, soda, and candy, so the movie treats will be provided free of charge. Doors open at 6:30 with the program beginning at 7. Seating is limited, so plan to come early.
The Cortez Journal reported that a popular Mexican restaurant in Mancos has opened a new location in Dolores. Chavalitos is owned and operated by Chavolo Ortiz, a veteran chef of authentic Mexican dishes from Guadalajara. Ortiz said, "I grew up with great Mexican food and want to share that experience with the Dolores community. Many of the recipes are from my mother, who is a great cook." He purchased the old Naked Moose restaurant and bar this year, then transformed it into a vibrant slice of Mexican or Guatemalan culture. Ortiz said, "We did a lot of remodeling and traveled to Guadalajara for the handmade Mexican tables and chairs and decorative artwork." The friendly staff at Chavalitos serves up plates of enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, carne, and pollo asada at reasonable prices. "We also offer quality seafood and shrimp dishes." He also said, "Our margaritas have a good reputation too." There's a bar and outdoor dining patio with views of Joe Rowell Park. A grand opening is scheduled for June 1st with a lot of specials on food and drinks. "I couldn't resist this nice town with a river," Ortiz says. "The people here need a quality Mexican restaurant, and I'm happy to offer that." Hours are 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Chavalitos is located at 104 South 2nd Street in Dolores. Their phone number is 970-946-3901, and catering is also available.
From the Durango Herald, after fighter jets roared over Silverton, solemn veterans and their family members gathered in Memorial Park Saturday to honor and remember those who died in war. Retired Air Force Major General Kathy Thomas said, "Today we cherish all those young men and women who did make the ultimate sacrifice." The second annual memorial was organized by the Iron Horse Bicycle Classic and the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. It brought together about 100 people who rode the train together to the ceremony. Amid the bike race and the holiday sales, the ceremony has been welcomed by many, including the cyclists, said Jana Schaefer, who helped organize the event. She said it's bringing people back to what Memorial Day is about. After her husband died in 1993 from an illness he acquired during the Gulf War, Schaefer has been passionate about veterans and their family members, including Gold Star parents, those whose children died serving their country. Lana Bader and Karen Renke were two of the Gold Star moms who attended the event in memory of their sons, who died in Middle Eastern conflicts. Both mothers are concerned that the Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts have faded from the spotlight. The crowd also included many veterans from the Vietnam era. Norman McBride takes this weekend each year to remember the 42 people he knew who died during the conflict. He noted how attitudes towards the military and veterans have changed. "We get a lot of grief. Since then, people have become appreciative of veterans."
From the Durango Herald, today across southwest Colorado, people will take time to remember those who sacrificed their lives and all to protect our freedom. In Durango, the Vietnam Veterans Association honored those who died in the Vietnam War at 10 a.m. today at a ceremony at Iris Park. The American Legion Ladies Auxiliary, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the VFW Ladies Auxiliary all participated. A ceremony organized by the Veterans of Foreign Wars to honor all Americans who died in wars began at 11 a.m. today at the Veterans Memorial in Greenmount Cemetery. The American Legion and Vietnam Veterans Association also participated there. A wreath-laying ceremony at 11:45 a.m. today was held on the 9th Street Bridge, organized by the American Legion to honor those who died at sea. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Vietnam Veterans Association also participated. Open houses began at noon at the VFW 1550 Main Avenue and at the American Legion 901 East 2nd Avenue. In Ignacio, the Southern Ute Veterans Association held its annual Day of Remembrance at 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park on the tribal campus. The event included flag and honor songs, speeches by visiting dignitaries, special presentations by the Veterans Association, and the lineup for the Walk of Warriors. The walk goes from the park to the Bear Dance Bridge for a wreath ceremony, and then to Uray's Cemetery for the remainder of the Veterans Observance. The event concludes at Veterans Memorial Park with feast. In Cortez, a Memorial Day celebration was held at 7 a.m. At the American Legion Post number 75, followed by breakfast. And here in Dove Creek, a memorial service to lay wreaths was completed by a 21-gun salute this morning at the local Peel Cemetery. Thanks to all those, both living and those who passed on, for their service.
In today's high country happenings, we'll leave it today for celebrations marking the memory of the lives of our fallen soldiers. And in my end note, specifically for our area, locally, we as a community have recently experienced several devastating accidents and deaths of those related to many community members and their friends. Our wishes for continued health recoveries to the women who were injured in the elevator collapse in Dolores and Julie Hemphill, who was injured in a vehicle accident on Highway 491. Longtime resident Sam Eugene Crane passed away last week at the age of 89, and services were held last Friday at the First Baptist Church in Dove Creek. Condolences go out to the family and friends of Marilyn Knuckles, who passed away last week, and the service was held this morning at Ertel's Funeral Home in Cortez, with burial at Peel Cemetery and dinner following at the Community Center in Dove Creek later today. Former Dove Creek resident and noted cowboy musician Tim Krebs Sr.'s lost his son, Tim Krebs Jr., at age 46 last week as he passed on Friday at home. A memorial service will be held at Ertel's in Cortez on Wednesday, June 1st. The community is also grieving the sudden death of Stanley Daves. He was killed on Saturday while driving his tractor. He was struck by another vehicle on Highway 491. Notice of services was unavailable at this time. All of these details are listed on our Facebook page. For information listings, we ask that you send us your info to dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station at 677-4119. Again, thanks for tuning in. This program's aired live at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County and Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County and their cable Channel 5.
You can also re-watch the news on YouTube. Search for the DCTV News at Noon channel.
For Jerry Tope and all those working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kendra Cook. See you next time.